Good morning. Good morning, my mindful journey friends. Hey, today I wanted to talk with you about the joy in living mindfully. What does that even mean? When you're going through your day to day activities, what does it mean to live mindfully, and how can it bless your life with more joy, and also to be able to see the hand of the Lord in your day? Now, when I started on this faith-filled mindful living journey, I actually started it a lot earlier than what I thought. And as I was reflecting this morning about the ways in which the Lord has guided me through this process and gotten me to where I am today, where it doesn't matter the circumstance that I'm in or the things that need to be done during the day, I have learned myself in this process of mindful living to learn how to slow time down into a single moment. And therefore, in doing that, it adds to the beauty of my life. I want to kind of explain that process to you so that you might be able to recognize yourself, for one, recognize for yourself maybe ways in which you actually have been living mindfully, and also not just living mindfully and being conscious of and aware of what's going on in your world around you, but to live a faith-filled mindful life and what that looks like. So I remember years ago, this is going to date me. My husband and I, we are Trekkie fans, and we really like Star Trek. And The Next Generation Star Trek was my favorite personally. And I remember there was an episode where Jean-Luc Picard, Captain Picard, had gone onto a colony, onto this planet. And these people there were hundreds of years old, and yet they looked so young. And so Captain Picard and his crew wanted to find out the reasons, what was the secret behind them being able to be so youthful. Well, there was a moment caught in time when Captain Picard was with one of the oldest women in the village, and she looked very young. She was very wise. And there was a moment in time when Captain Picard was asking her why they didn't leave their colony, why they didn't go out into the world rather than staying in this little confinement that they had. And she slowed time down. This hummingbird comes flying and flies right in front of Captain Picard's face. And it slows down to where he can see every detail of the hummingbird, every movement in the air he can see. And it pauses for just a moment, and then it stops. And she turns to Captain Picard and says, "Now do you understand why we would never want to leave this place?" Well, that's how I feel about faith-filled mindful living. Because faith-filled mindful living isn't just the fact that you slow your life down and you aren't busy with all of the things that need to be done. I mean, laundry still needs to be done. You still have to go grocery shopping. The kids still have to go to school. All jobs need to be done. So there are a lot of things that demand our time. But what faith-filled mindful living does for you, and remember, this is a practice. It's something that you develop over time. But what you do is you can take a single moment in the experience that you're having, and it basically slows time down for you. And it's because you become very aware of what's happening in your circumstance at that time. Whether you're in the middle of a family party and everyone's talking and laughing and having a good time, and you take a moment just to pause and look at the people that you love. You listen to them. You become very intent and involved in what is going on around you. It can be in just everyday routine things that you don't necessarily even think about, like washing the dishes. How can something as mundane as washing the dishes turn into a faith-filled, mindful living practice? Well, you pause for a moment. You feel the warmth of the water. You smell the suds of the bubbles. You look at the dishes that you're washing and watch as the water washes off the suds. In that moment, you express gratitude to the Lord that you had food to put on those plates, that you have fresh water and soap to be able to sanitize the dishes. It doesn't matter, my friends, it doesn't matter what is happening with you, what's going on. You can slow down time to a single moment and be able to recognize how the Lord is blessing you, how He's blessing your family, how He's aware of the little details that are in your life. It is a beautiful way to live. And like the woman had said to Captain Picard, why on earth would you ever want to leave? Now, I've lived in that hurried place, jumping from one thing to the next without really paying attention to what's going on. And I noticed during those times, because I still have them, it's a practice, right? But I noticed that my stress is higher. I don't sleep as well. I don't do my self-care things that I need to do on a regular basis. My eating isn't quite as well. And my relationships with the people that I love aren't as deep and meaningful as I want them to be. And neither is my relationship with the Lord. So the joy in faith-filled mindful living is worth the effort to practice. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes, because then you start to have that everywhere you go. When you go to the grocery store, when you're driving on the freeway, when you meet a stranger on the road, or you're performing service for a neighbor or a friend, or simply cleaning your house and doing laundry. Those little things that seem the reason why you're stressed, why things keep building up. When you learn how to practice faith-filled mindful living, they don't become a burden so much. It isn't just one more thing to add to your plate, because now you've learned how to have joy and see the hand of the Lord in every little moment. Now life continues to go on, and there are things that need to be done. There are things that we have to hop from thing to thing because we live in a busy world, and there are a lot of things that need to be maintained and continued, and relationships and activities, things that our children are doing. There are all of those things that you just can't put away your life. You can't just create a bubble to live in and call that faith-filled mindful living, or a life with awareness, or just slowing down. That's one of the things that I've noticed has become very common. Something that I love watching and being a part of is this idea of slow living, going back to the things that really have meaning, creating an ambiance in your home and in your life that causes you to feel at peace and calm, But the extension of that way of living, is the reality is that we can find those moments even in the busyness of our lives. I hope that that is something that you can find for yourselves, my friends, because that is one of the whole purposes of why I felt driven to create this channel and this podcast, is so that you can have a way to step back from the stress and the busyness of your life and find joy in a faith-filled, mindful living practice. See the hand of the Lord in your life and in the life of the people that you love. God's mercies, His tender mercies, are everywhere to be found. We just have to have eyes to see, ears to hear, and to be able to recognize, have the gift to be able to recognize how much the Lord loves you and is blessing you. All right, my friends, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care and spend a little time, just one little thing today. Take one little mundane task or one activity that you are participating in and slow down time. See the joy in the moment and the Lord in it. That would be my hope for you. All right, until next time, my friends, remember, quiet the mind, nourish the body, and enliven the soul.